In this video, we're going to have a look at how to multiply algebraic expressions. Now, it is important to remember that when we write algebraic expressions that contain a coefficient and a variable, we normally leave out the multiplication sign. So, for example, 2a, in between the 2 and the a, there is a multiplication sign. So it is really 2 times a, is what we mean when we say 2a. Now this is important to remember when we are multiplying algebraic expressions. So there are 4 steps that are going to help us to multiply algebraic expressions. The first one is to rewrite the expression, adding in any multiplication signs between coefficient and variables. The second is to rearrange the numbers and the like terms to be together in my expression. The third step is to multiply all my numbers together. And the fourth step is to multiply and simplify any like terms. So let's have a look at some examples of how we can apply these 4 steps. So in the first example, I want to simplify 3 times 4g. Now the first step I want to do is rewrite that expression, adding in any of the missing multiplication signs. So that is going to equal 3 times 4 times g. Now the second step, to rearrange for numbers and like terms to be together, doesn't need to happen here because my numbers are together and I only have one variable. So the next step is to multiply my numbers together. So 3 times 4 is equal to 12 times g. And the last step is to simplify any like terms, which I don't have. So I can just simplify my overall expression to remove the multiplication sign. So it's going to equal to 12g. So 3 times 4g is equal to 12g. So in my next example, I want to simplify 2a times 6b. So my first step is to rewrite the expression, adding in any missing multiplication signs. So that's going to equal to 2 times a times 6 times b. So the next step is to rearrange for numbers and like terms to be together. So I've got 2 numbers, 2 and 6. So I want to rearrange it and start off by writing 2 times 6. And then I don't have any like terms to group together, so I can just complete the rest of the expression. So that is going to be times by a times by b. So the next step is to multiply my numbers together. So 2 times 6 is equal to 12. So 12 times a times by b. I don't have any like terms to simplify, so I can rewrite my expression without any of the multiplication signs. So it's equal to 12ab. So in this example, I want to simplify negative 4t times 2u times t times 3v. So the first step is going to be rewrite that expression, adding in all of the missing multiplication signs. So it's going to be negative 4 times by t times by 2 times by u times by t times by 3 times by v. So now that I've gone ahead and rewritten the expression with all of the multiplication signs, I want to go and group all of my numbers and like terms together. So starting off with grouping all of my numbers together, that's going to be negative 4 times by 2 times by 3. And I can actually go ahead and cross those out to help me make sure that I don't leave out any terms when I'm writing my new expression. Alright, so now I need to group like terms together. I've got 2 lots of t's, a u and a v. So there's going to be times by t times by t. And then times by u times by v. So now that I've gone ahead and grouped all of my numbers and like terms together, I can go ahead and multiply my numbers. So negative 4 times 2 is equal to negative 8. Negative 8 times 3 is equal to negative 24. And that's going to be times by t times by t times by u times by v. So the last step is going to be to simplify any like terms. Here I've got a t times t, and that is going to equal to t squared. So that's going to simplify to negative 24 times by t squared times by u times by v. And now that I have completed my 4 steps, I can go ahead and rewrite my final expression without any multiplication signs. So that's going to equal to negative 24 t squared u v.